Let's see. Great. All right. Good evening, everybody. We'll give this about a minute. See everybody starting to trickle in the attendees box, so we will let that fill up, and we'll get going. Still coming in. About 30 more seconds. Excellent. All right. So we will get started. I know we have an hour allotted for this, and we're kind of intending to stay to that hour because I know it's a busy, super busy time of year for just about everybody in town right now with school ending and after school programs and end of year celebrations going on. So we'll get rolling, and if people keep filing in, as it looks like they are, they can join us from there. So welcome everybody. Let me just get here to my screen. Welcome. My name is Tim Davis, Recreation Director for the town of Southborough. If you are here with us tonight, that means you are signed up for at least one, if not more, weeks of summer camp for the 2021 summer season. Before we get rolling, quick note, if you cannot stay for the whole presentation, no worries. It is being recorded and it will be shared to everybody who is registered for summer camp. So if you got to duck out early, no worries on that one. The full recording will be made available to you again via email as well as posted on our website. If you have a question at any time during our little presentation here, please use the Q&A function to submit that question. We will do our best to get to the questions. We got a lot to go over tonight. If it gets to the point that we are finishing up at that hour mark, we will be sure to receive all the questions, type them all out, and send them in a file for everybody. So everybody's aware, and hopefully your question gets answered. So with that, we're going to get started. So, believe it or not, we're just about a week and a half, 2 weeks out from camp starting. For us at the rec department, it's kind of a surreal time. We've been kind of out of the light for quite some time due to COVID. We had to cancel last year's summer, which was obviously a super bummer on our end, but we are just so excited to get back with our community this year, with all of you, with all the kids. And what we have lined up this summer is really, I think, going to be something special. We have a whole host of activities and special events that we'll be going over tonight, as well as just, day-to-day stuff to announce that we're excited about. So what will we be covering tonight? Pretty basic everything. We're going to kind of be running through the nuts and bolts when it comes to summer camp, which will include introductions of our supervisory staff, who you can probably see here on the screen with me. We'll go over, just confirm our hours of operation. We'll talk about our facility that we're using over at Woodward, kind of the uniqueness that presents us. We'll be talking about, camper policies, procedures, drop off, pickup, check-in, check-out, daily schedules. Obviously, we'll be spending some time on the COVID-19 aspect of summer camp, even though the restrictions have officially lifted. There's many aspects of it that are still going to stay in place, at least for the beginning, if not the entirety of camp. So we will talk about those, and then we'll get into the fun stuff. We'll end on the fun stuff. We'll be going over our programming. We'll be talking about our themes, about our weeks, some special events that we have going on, and some stuff we'll mention tonight that we haven't made public yet, that we're super excited about. So first things first, we'll just do some quick introductions of everybody on screen. Again, my name is Tim Davis, the Recreation Director here for the town of Southborough. Going on my third summer here in Southborough. However, this is my first summer of summer camp. So that kind of displays of kind of the craziness that the last couple of years have been. I came in during the summer of my first time here. Then Triple E hit, and then COVID hit, and then so on and so forth. So I am thrilled. I'm kind of giddy to get this underway and to join everybody this summer. Prior to my time here, I was director in the town of Stoughton, where I ran all of these summer camps, youth programs, after school programs. And then prior to that, for the town of Brookline, where I was solely in charge of their summer camps. So summer camp, I kind of hold near and dear to my heart. And again, I'm super excited for this summer, not only for camp, but everything else we're doing as a department with the return of our concerts and our movies and summer nights and everything. It's really exciting to get back to. So I'd like to introduce to you our supervisors, and I will just call them out one by one, and they can unmute themselves and introduce themselves, what camp they're going to be. Hopefully this helps come the first day so you can see some familiar faces, and then we'll move on from there. So I will start with Abby.
Hi, I'm Abby Adams. I am the supervisor at the younger camp, which is the Fayetteville camp. I have been working on and off there for the past 12 years. So I did not last summer, obviously, but the summer before and the summer before that. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone again, and it's going to be a good year.
Great. Thanks, Abby. Emerson.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emerson Chapsky. I'm the assistant supervisor for Camp Fayetteville. I'm super excited for the summer. I'm new this year. Before this, I worked for Extended Day, so I did their summer camp for several years. So I love summer camp, so I can't wait to get started.
Excellent. Caitlin.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Caitlin Murray. I'll be the supervisor for Camp Corderville, which is our camp for older students, campers ages 7 to 11. During this year, I am a teacher. So this year I taught 3rd grade, and next year I'm excited to teach 5th grade. But after everything the kiddos have been through with the pandemic, I'm really excited to give them an awesome experience at camp. So I'm really looking forward to getting started in the next week and a half or so.
Great. Thanks, Caitlin. And Megan.
I'm Megan Murray. I'm Caitlin's sister, but I'm the assistant supervisor at the camp. I'm gonna say it wrong. Corderville. I'm new this year to camp, but I'm like Caitlin, I'm a 3rd grade teacher right now, special education in Blackstone. So I'm really looking forward, just like she said, making it a good summer for the kids who have gone through so much. So I'm super excited.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. And also on the call tonight is Denise Mayer. Denise is our administrative assistant at the Recreation Department. Most likely, most of you in the audience have talked to her one time or another, whether it be getting ready for this summer or summers past or general programs, or just if you called Rec just to chat. Most likely you've gone through Denise. So Denise will be with us this summer as well, answering your calls and assisting, most likely on site from time to time, but definitely in the office. And she's here to help you. Also not on the call, Alexandra Officer, our program coordinator. She will be in the office as well and on site. So you can expect to see her as well come the start of summer camp. All right, so let's get into it. So first thing I got is kind of just again, some meat and bones, some basic things that we just want to go over, a couple pointers looking at everything. So our hours of operation. Now, if you're a longtime user of the rec camps for the town of Southborough, you will notice that this year is the first time that we are offering a full day summer camp. In the years past, there's been some extended day options and things of that nature. But we were super excited last year to announce that we were going full day and offering a half day option on top of it. Unfortunately, that didn't work out like we planned, but we're just as excited to bring it back and introduce it this year. So we will have half day options. So for Camp Fayetteville, our little ones, their day starts at 8:30 in the morning and goes till 12:30. So 8:30 drop off to 12:30 p.m. And then we do have full day options for both camps. And that, again, everybody drops off at the same time, 8:30 in the morning, and then pickup is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You will see listed there on the screen the breakdown of the weeks of your sessions. Like I said, some of you here tonight maybe signed up for one session. Some may be signed up from week 1 and week 6, and some of you most likely are signed up for all 8. We saw a lot of kids signed up for the whole summer, and we're super excited about that. Like I mentioned, there's so much going on that we're just really thrilled that you chose us to join us for the summer. One quick note, just to reiterate, is if you are signed up for week 2, session 2, there is no program on July 5th. So that Monday, July 4th, is observed in the town of Southborough with all town departments and town buildings. So everything will be closed. And so we are getting in line with that. So that week starts on July 6th and goes till the 9th. So again, just an abbreviated week because of the July 4th holiday. Now, I wanted to take some time and kind of talk about Woodward Elementary School, which is going to be our site all summer for summer camp, and more so why we chose Woodward. This wasn't something that was just kind of given to us by the school department. We work so closely with the school department, and they're always so generous to us. And we floated the idea of using this site, and it was approved. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about why we chose this site, kind of some pointers for you all to look forward to share with your children if they're not here with you tonight. And just to give you an idea again of kind of how we're going to be functioning on that site. So Woodward, and I may be biased because it's a recreation site, I believe is probably one of the most unique facilities and complexes that we have kind of under the umbrella of Southborough Rec. And I say that because of the facilities and what it kind of boasts on site. So right off the bat, driving by right down Corderville, you'll see all of our fields. So we have 3 multi-purpose fields. Soccer just used them nonstop with their season that finished up last week. So we have we have enough field space to put 3 soccer fields on like we do every season. So there is plenty of green space, plenty of multi-purpose field space that we will be using 100% every single day. It is probably one of the largest grass areas we have in town that is maintained. So it is perfect when it comes to our ability to use it for a summer camp setting. We have an outdoor basketball court that was just relined recently. It's a full-size outdoor court. Again, I'm sure many of you in the audience are aware of this. But also behind the school, we have 2 half courts. So we do have, if you're not familiar with Woodward, there are 2 half courts behind the building that will be at our disposal as well. So we have 1 full basketball court and 2 half courts. So we plan on using those just as much. We have our softball diamond that is down there as well, one of the few in town that we maintain very, very well. That is used at night during the summer. So it will be in tip-top shape every single day for the kids to use and the staff to use alike. So we got some great plans. Great plans for that diamond. There's a full playground behind the school, separated, very kind of a private setting, a wonderful setting out back by the woods that we will have access to. So we definitely have a full playground at our hands. But we will also be having access to the inside of the school, obviously a limited basis. But one of the biggest things is we have access to that gymnasium, beautiful gymnasium recently redone, but it also has air conditioning. So obviously in the summer, that's a huge plus. We will be scheduling program in there as we see fit. We will most likely be staying outside just as much as possible, just because it is summer camp, and also with COVID precautions and everything like that, we want to make sure the kids are getting as much fresh air as possible. But we do have access to that gymnasium, which also boasts a performance stage, which we'll get into a little later with some special events that we will be doing. So again, this complex that we have down at Woodward is just a prime time spot to run a summer camp and to be able to implement just a wide range of programming and activities for all of the kids. And as I thought I was clever underneath the heading, it's, Woodward is the center of the action for camp, but it's in a central location. And that is another huge reason why we chose Woodward as a site, just because of its proximity to many other facilities in the town. Now, we've made it very clear that we are not going on field trips this summer, just as a precaution when we were planning and when we had to kind of, pull the trigger on booking things and kind of making decisions on pricing and whatnot. We made that decision not to do field trips, but being where we are at Woodward kind of offers us the the possibility to do day trips and to get off site, but still maintain close range and close proximity to Woodward. And by that, as you'll see listed on the screen, I mean, just to go down them, the Southborough Townhouse, Town Hall, where all of our business of the town is dealt, is right up the road from us, a quick walk on the sidewalk. And up there, last year, we installed a brand new playground. So this will be more likely for our Camp Fayetteville kiddos, just because it is a playground built for those lower grades and for those younger kids. So we will have access, and we will be utilizing the townhouse playground up there. It's made of picnic tables and benches and everything. A wonderful setting up there. So we're excited to be able to expose the kids to that playground. The Southborough Library, again, is right at the alternate corner from us. The library will be coming down every single Thursday and holding story time for our younger kids. More than likely, we'll also be traveling up there from time to time. They just installed a beautiful story walk trail right outside on their grounds with some gardens and things of that nature. So it's a great facility for us to have access to. Excuse me. And then obviously we have the public safety building right next door to us that we will be doing programming with. We obviously work very closely with public safety, police, fire, and also DPW right down the street. So we'll be doing a lot of programming with them, and the kids can expect to see them specifically on some days. But if I had to guess, a lot of them will probably just be coming down just for fun to show face and hang out with the kids and staff. The senior center is right across the way. And if you're familiar with the senior center, you'll know they have a beautiful front lawn covered in trees and shade that we are probably going to be using in talking with the director over there. Again, great shaded spot. It'll be wonderful for some low energy games, especially for our younger ones, and just a beautiful setting over there. And then last but not least, we're very close to St. Mark's. St. Mark's is a wonderful partner of the Recreation Department. They, at least for the last 3 years since I've been, they've been wildly generous in so many ways, and just great friends and great partners. So St. Mark's Field is right up the street from us that we are kind of looking at with some programs coming down the line just because of the size of that field. But also the pool. Right now, as of today, we will not be using the pool, but we are in talks with them because that pool is under construction. It's going through some maintenance, and it is their hope from talking to them that they'll be able to get it back online so that we can use it towards the end of the summer. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed in that regard. And obviously, if that comes to be real and comes to fruition, we will send out a whole host of more information to everybody on what to expect and how that is going to go. So again, Woodward is just such a great site. We're so thankful to the school department for allowing us to be in there. And we really think it's going to be just a wonderful, wonderful spot for all the kids. So now's the fun stuff. So it's just, we're going to touch on just some kind of basic policies and procedures. I do want to note that when I sent the link out for this webinar, attached to that email is also the parent manual. So I do encourage you to read over that at least once. There's a lot of information in there that is not covered tonight. A lot of information about what to expect, but what to bring, what not to bring, snacks, lunch, things of that nature. So again, please read into that. Obviously, if you have any questions, please contact our department, and we can try to answer those the best we can as quick as possible. But I'm just going to touch on a few things, a few specifics when it comes to policies and procedures. First one being drop off and pickup. So we have a fancy GIS map that I pulled from Google, so nothing crazy. But there's a couple points that we want to point out when it comes to drop off and pickup. And the first thing is you'll see a big red X on the bottom parking lot of Woodward. Now, if anybody in the audience goes to Woodward or had a child that went to Woodward, you know that is used for pickup for parents to park, walk up, grab their kid, and go back. You'll find out a little later why that is not going to be in play, because that's going to be one of our main sites for camp. We are going to be utilizing that area, and the way it's going to be set up is just not going to be safe to drive around. So the way it's going to work that we are planning, and I want to kind of put a disclaimer on that things may change. Again, this is our first year here, and things will constantly evolve if we see better ways and more efficient ways to do things, both maybe with this, but also programming. So we are recommending, or we are asking, that all parents pull into the main entrance of Woodward. And what you will do is you will go up that main driveway and you will continue around the cul-de-sac. And from there, once you turn around, your passenger side should be against the sidewalk. And I believe I have a little blue dot here that you may be able to see. But right by the trees, right by the handicap ramp, you're going to see a Southborough Rec canopy tent. Here is going to be all the supervisors, as well as myself, most likely Alex, if not more, ready to receive and ready to check you all in. What we are asking is that the parents stay in the car and simply drop off your child. Now, we understand with Camp Fayetteville, the kids are much younger and they may need a little more attention to get out of the car, both because they'll probably be strapped in the car seat or also a little nervous just because we have some 3-year-olds and some 4-year-olds. So we do recognize that we're not going to be sticklers. If you're a little nervous or they need a little more help to get out of the car, by all means. We just ask that you keep in mind that we are going to be cycling through over 100 kids a day. We are sold out, so it's going to be super busy, and we want to make sure that traffic keeps flowing as quick as possible. Once the kiddo exits the car, the supervisor or whomever is there will check them in. We have a digital check-in system this year with iPads, which communicates directly with our office. So they will check you in and then they will guide appropriately. We will be corralling the kids based on camp. So all around the school and all within the school and behind, it's going to be staffed. We have, altogether about 30 staff that will be on site every single morning to help assist with guiding the kids and checking them in. As of right now, our plan is for Camp Corderville to congregate on the playground behind the school and Camp Fayetteville to congregate inside in the gymnasium. So upon check-in, you will be guided by staff and walked over to each location. Now on pickup, the traffic cycle is going to be the same exact thing. Pull in around the cul-de-sac, you'll find one of the supervisors. Our supervisors and our staff are all equipped with walkie-talkies. We will be utilizing them every day, every hour. We will call down to the camps and send your kid out, plop them in the car, and hopefully they are happy and very tired for you that night. And we'll send you on our way. I can tell you most likely, I'm sure the first couple of days it may go a little slow as we are just getting our wits about us. So please be patient. We ask for your patience as we get that going. But the biggest thing is that if you could, please refrain from releasing your child if you are not at that sidewalk or with a supervisor. We don't want kids running back and forth through the road. We don't want them going down to the fields or anything like that. For the safety of the kids, for the safety of the staff, and again, for accountability to make sure all of our kids are there, we would ask that we do check in this way. All of this information is going to be sent out separately in a separate email with a much more detailed map and some more detailed information. This is more just a general overview of it to just give you a sense of what to expect. Now, for early pickups and late arrivals, we do not offer early camp day, any scheduled, organized early camp days, as well as extended day after 4 o'clock. So if you arrive late to camp, we ask that you must check in with a camp supervisor. We will always have a supervisor. We plan on always having a supervisor underneath one of the Southborough Rec canopy tents. They will stand out. They are quite large and they have our logo on them. So it'll be easy to be seen. Be sure that you check in with a supervisor. We will be aware of what group your child is in, so we will know exactly where to send them. And then again, we want to make sure they are checked into our system and those counselors are made aware that that child is there. Again, just for accountability to the kids on site. And so we're all on the same page. Similarly, to picking up early, you must, if you're planning to pick your child up early, you can park in one of the upper parking spaces that are free. Find one of the supervisors under the tents, let them know who you're here to grab. Again, we'll know exactly what group they're in. We'll know exactly what activity they are currently in, and we'll be able to retrieve them for you. Please refrain if you see your child down on the field or right at the lower parking lot and it's an easy in, easy out. Please refrain from grabbing them. Again, we want to make sure that every kid's accounted for and we don't get under the impression that we are missing a child and have to go through that procedure. So early or late, please check in with a camp supervisor at all times. So as I just spoke about, kind of teed up, every day we'll have a set schedule. Now, what's on the screen right now is simply an example. So this is not in stone of what each day is going to look like. It's just a general idea of the flow of what the flow of the day is going to be. And I'm just going to kind of run through it just for argument's sake. So 8:30 to 9 will be check-in and arrival. Like I said, we have a lot of kids coming in. So we're going to give an adequate amount of time, a half hour, to make sure that all the kids have time to get checked in, go to their designated area, and into their group. We'll have activities going on at that time. The kids will not just be sitting around. Like I said, one will be at the one group will be at the playground, the other will be in the gym, and we will make sure that they are staying active as the kids start rolling in. 9 to 9:30 playground time. That will vary. Obviously, Corderville is starting their day there, so they may go down to the field for that time. Everything is not set in stone. Again, this is just an idea of how it's going to function. From there, starting at 9:30, so an hour after check-in begins, our groups will break out and start taking advantage of the activities that we will have planned. So, for instance, if they were in Group A, they will go down and do that special arts and craft project that is programmed for that day. They will spend their hour down there doing it with that supervisor or with those counselors, whatever it is that day. They will have a half hour, which we'll have this is for full dayers and half dayers. Their first snack, a little free play, and kind of a transition time. So the half hour we're going to use to the most extent, the best extent. And they will lead them to their next activity starting at 11 for an hour. In this case, Group A will be down on the fields doing that activity for the day. Maybe the softball field, maybe the soccer field, maybe the gymnasium. We're not sure. Again, this is just an example. From 12 to 1, they'll transition to their lunch. Everybody's going to eat lunch at the same time. We obviously have adequate space throughout the facility, both on the grass and the parking lot and the gyms, everything like that. So plenty of space for everybody to come hang out. And also, a little free play. As we know, it's not going to take a full hour for most to eat their lunch. From there, they'll continue with their second half of programming. In this case, Group A would be going to the gym for 45 minutes. They'll have that afternoon snack and water break with their free play and their transition time into their final activity, group activity, in this case, water play. And then we will most likely end the day with an all camp activity. That could be just that, an activity. It could be a camp meeting if we have something important to talk about for the following day. That will most likely change day to day. So on a normal day, this is kind of the setup of what can be expected. On special event days, this will look very different. If we have a vendor coming in, if we have a special performance or anything of that nature, this will definitely change. But it will be communicated, obviously, to the campers at the beginning of the day. It will be communicated very clearly to all the counselors, so they're informed. And obviously the supervisors will know. So if there's any question upon drop off, please feel free to ask. And we'll do our best to answer and give you a glimpse of what they'll be doing that day. So definitely busy, keeping the kids busy. They'll be going one thing to another. But if I had to guess, it's going to go super quick for them. So the next piece of it is this health and safety piece. It is us addressing some of the COVID guidelines. of what we are going to be implementing. I know a lot of people have called the office, so this may not be new information for some, but I wanted to kind of stick on 5 points, 6 points of what we'll be implementing this summer and what to expect. And first and foremost, what we're getting the most questions for, and I'm sure a lot of you are very interested in, is masks. Masks are welcomed, but they are not going to be mandatory outdoors. If you'd like to send your child to camp and you want to make it known that you'd like them to wear their mask throughout the day, whether they be outdoors or indoors, absolutely. Please let us know. We will do our best to encourage your child and keep an eye on your child so that they're keeping their mask on at all times. That is no problem. We know that there's going to be some staff doing the same thing. So we are prepared for it. We're going to be training our staff accordingly during orientation about it. But again, masks are welcomed if you're more comfortable with your child having one. But when we are outside, it is not mandatory. However, when we go inside, no matter what we're doing, no matter what the camper is doing or the staff member is doing, a mask will be required, whether that's going inside to fill up a water bottle, use the restroom, get changed for a water activity in the restroom. When we're in the gym doing gym activities, if we're on the stage doing stage activities, if we are indoors, a mask will be worn. And that goes for counselors and staff as well, regardless if they have been vaccinated or not. All staff are supplied with Southborough Rec masks. So all of them will always have one no matter what. For everybody else, within your packet, you'll see for the campers, we recommend that you bring at least 2 masks every day, just in case something happens to one of them, or we feel something happened and maybe they want it if they're sneezing inside their mask or something of that nature, and we feel like they need a new one, they can use that backup. We will have disposables on site at all times, limited supply from time to time, but they are there in case there is a need, again, with staff or with campers alike. When it comes to distancing and social distancing, CDC and local boards of health are advising a 3-foot distance of in between individuals and campers during activities. We are going to implement that when we see possible. Now, when we are playing a high energy sports activity or field game, it's much more difficult, obviously, to enforce such a distance. However, when we have our everyday programmed low energy programs, such as the arts and crafts, or special events, or if, lunchtime, obviously, we will be sure that we're implementing that 3-foot social distance. Again, staff is going to be trained on that, and we are going to ask them to use their best judgment as well. If we're transitioning to a program, if the kids are in line, we're going to advise 3 feet, everything like that. So we will do our best where we see fit and where we see that it's not hindering, I think, the experience of some of the programming that we are doing. And then cleaning protocol. High touch surfaces will be wiped down at all times when necessary, when we deem it necessary. At the end of each activity, especially when it comes to high touch stuff like arts and crafts, when kids are using tables and chairs and something very regularly. We are stacked, we're ready to go with plenty of cleaning supplies. So all of that stuff will be kept obviously away from the kids, but accessible for the staff so that they can use it accordingly. At the end of the day, all surfaces, no matter what, are going to be wiped down and cleaned with the appropriate solutions. That's simply so that each day when the kids come in and when the staff come in, we're starting fresh, and we're starting comfortable with what we have here on site. Those are tables, those are chairs. If we feel that certain sports equipment needs to be wiped down because of how it was used the previous day or during the day, we will do that. That is a carryover of last summer. And while sometimes I'm sure it's going to seem a little repetitive, it's just something that we feel comfortable instituting to try to keep both staff and kids safe. So we will be, again, implementing a significant amount of cleaning for everybody and everything involved. Cohorting. So we will be grouping our campers so it's actually not to exceed 25. I apologize. It says 20 on here, but the recommended allowed amount is 25 kids, not including counselors. So your child will never be in a group with more than 25 kids. Most likely it's going to be less than that. But the way it's going to work is if your child is assigned group A on Monday morning, they will be in group A from Monday through Friday. They will not switch groups. They will not join up with another group. We will keep them in the same group, so we are aware of who they've been around at all times, just in case, forbid we have to do some contact tracing or anything like that. We will always have the children in the same group that week. Groups are made based on age and grade, mainly age. That is kind of, we have such a wide range of ages on our site. We kind of want to make it so that everyone's kind of on an even playing field. So we don't have a 7-year-old and an 11 or 12-year-old going up against each other in a game. So we want to make sure everyone's even, everything's fair, but also hopefully your kids will meet other kids in town of the same grade, of the same age, and develop those relationships there. We will be maintaining strict ratios. This is part of our license as a summer camp. So for Camp Fayetteville, we will have a 1-to-5 ratio of counselor to camper. And then at minimum, this is minimum ratios. And then for Camp Corderville, we will have a 1-to-10 ratio. Most likely, again, those are minimum. So we will at minimum be maintaining those, but most likely we will be exceeding those ratios. We overstaffed on purpose for this reason, to prepare for the unknown and unknowable of counselors calling out sick or going on vacations or anything. So most likely you will have more counselors than is required. And we again, we do that on purpose because really, why not? The more the better. And then on top of that, we do have a counselor and training program. Some of you in the audience may be here because of that. We will touch on that a little bit. Most of what we're talking about here still, I apologize, I didn't mention this earlier. Most of what we've been talking about kind of all relates to them as well. But CITs will be assigned groups every single week that they are registered for. And it's same goes with that. They will stay with that group for the entirety of their week that they are assigned and that they have registered for. Quarantining. Now, if there comes a time where we see a camper that is potentially displaying symptoms of COVID-19, we do have a room reserved within Woodward, a temperature controlled room with a specifically installed ventilation system. This is the room that Woodward used for this exact purpose during the school year. So we do have a site that we can remove the child and bring them to that room, and then we could go into our protocol with our staff of contacting parents, and then so on and so forth, depending on the result of that child. This directly relates to the reason why we're cohorting. Again, heaven forbid there is a positive case, we will know exactly what kids that child was around and that child spent their days with. And then from there, we will contact appropriately with assistance from the Southborough Board of Health, who will help us straight from the beginning of when we suspect or have concern if a child is showing symptoms. So we will have the professionals in town with us, the healthcare professionals in town, helping us out from start to finish in that regard to make sure that everything is being handled appropriately. And last, I felt it necessary to put in that everything is constantly changing, as I'm sure everybody on this call is very, very aware of. We didn't want to do this webinar this late in the game. We had everything going, everything ready, set to be sent out probably about 3 weeks ago on a Friday. And then we woke up on Monday and everything changed and everything went out the window. So everything is constantly evolving. We are in constant contact with the Board of Health here in town, with emergency management over at Public Safety. We have weekly check-ins and weekly town halls with the CDC through the American Camp Association that our full-time staff does tune into and is aware of. And then we are on all the mailing lists, as you would imagine, for any new guidelines that come out, whether it be camp, whether it be sports, athletics, youth sports, all that stuff. So we are keeping our thumb on the pulse of that. If anything is of significant change we'll be sure to contact all parents, make them aware of anything that we're going to change when it comes to day-to-day policies and procedures and practices, so that everybody is in the loop as soon as possible. And if we need to, obviously, we will train our staff in whatever the case may be. So again, I'm sure things are going to change as we transition. Hopefully they're changing for the better. And anything and everything will be communicated to parents regarding that. As I just mentioned with counselors in training, I just want to do a couple quick hits on that just for kind of clarifications and reaching back to what was mentioned on some aspects prior. Check-in procedures is going to be the same for CITs. So plan on that route and that procedure when it comes to check-in and pick up. Same thing with, CITs are a full day and half day. Same goes for each. They will be assigned, CITs will be assigned, like we said, to a single group. They will stay with that group for the remainder of the week. Again, just for that cohort idea, as well as they're going to be split evenly so that the additional supervision that they can provide and assist with the counselors and with the kids is done evenly throughout the camp. Direct reports for our CITs on site will be the assistant camp supervisors. So they will be sure, obviously, to introduce themselves come the first day, but also there'll be an opportunity to meet them, which we'll go over in a little bit. And they'll also meet with me. The counseling training program is, while it's a work readiness program specifically around working at our summer camp, we try to make it as educational as possible. It's something that I've been involved in, counseling training programs for years and years and years over my career, and I do find it very important, but more so super rewarding when we see a camper go through years and years of enjoying camp, who then voluntarily signs up to be a CIT to start their experience. And then by the time that CIT is able to turn in a resume that comes across our desk, it should be a no-brainer at that point. So, a CIT program we do take very seriously here. And again, I intend on meeting, as well as I'm sure the rest of our full-time staff, specifically with our CITs to kind of go over some weekly themes, to kind of check in with them, kind of see if they have any questions, anything like that. Just for general knowledge, CITs do not count towards the counselor to camper ratio due to their age and the fact they are not employed as an official employee. Again, their presence is just an extension of supervision. They're extra hands that our counselors can work with as colleagues on site, but while not only mentoring them, but giving them that real world experience. So again, in addition to your counselors, you will see that you will have CITs at each group. Everybody will be wearing the appropriate uniform. Counselors will have counselor shirts on, CITs will have CIT shirts on, supervisors will have supervisor shirts on. I will most likely be wearing a polo, if not a supervisor shirt. So everybody will be marked very clearly. So if you ever had a question or you were questioning who was with your kid, it will be very clear. They're very obnoxious colors that we do on purpose for that reason, so that they are very visible to everybody else. As I just mentioned, this information is going to go out officially tomorrow. We find it very important that we give the opportunity for CITs to come in and meet with us individually before they get on site. Speaking from some experience, being a first-time CIT and thrown into the situation of now being somewhat responsible for children instead of just being a camper, especially at their age range, can be very daunting. So we want to make sure that the CITs are educated as much as possible with their expectations, what their expectations are as a CIT, but also answer any and all questions that we can ahead of time, so that when they show up to our site, they are prepared as possible. So on June 25th, which is a Friday afternoon at 3:30, we are going to be holding a CIT orientation. This is recommended. This is not mandatory. But if you're a child, like I said, if your child is a little nervous or has a lot of questions, or you have questions regarding the CIT program, it will give you the opportunity to get those answered. And again, expectations will be set. day-to-day operations will be explained. And it would just be a kind of a great information session to be equipped with prior to coming on site. Location is to be determined. I think I might have just said that. We're so close to confirming one. So we're hopeful to have it by tomorrow, if not Friday, but we will send that out as soon as possible. And then again, 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday. And again, once again, recommended, not mandatory. So it is up to you and your participant regarding if you'd like to attend, but we obviously strongly encourage it. Now, fun stuff. So we want to spend a little time going over our weekly themes, give you all I guess a spoiler alert for everybody else of what to expect when it comes to special events, when it comes to day-to-day programs and some really fun stuff that we have planned already, but also a few announcements that we have not made public yet that you all will kind of get first glance into. So here's a breakdown of our weeks. And within these weeks is what we have scheduled. So I will just run through them kind of quickly and give you a little more context on that. So our first week is that, I don't want to say cliche, but that classic welcome to camp. That great first week that all camps kick off with to set the tone for the rest of the summer. We'll be having actually the skip to the second one every single week. The Southborough Library will be coming down to the site to do a story time for Camp Fayetteville participants and anybody in Camp Corderville who may be interested in joining. Ms. Kim, the children librarian and assistant director from the library, will be down each week. So you can expect that even if it's not listed on these boxes. But Paradise Island will be in with us for the first week. Paradise is a vendor that we use regularly of our RAP programs, if anybody is familiar with our after school programs. So they'll be doing some specialized arts and crafts, specialized projects with the kids of all age groups. So we're super excited that they were willing to come with us. Week 2 is Mad Science Week. So Paradise will be coming back as well, but doing some more science, more STEM-based activities. You can only imagine probably what that's gonna be with our young kids. But they got a whole set of stuff, whole set of surprises to do with the kids for that one. So, and again, these are obviously all in addition to our day-to-day, our sports activities, and that will be changing constantly every single day. So these are just the highlights of kind of the special things we got going on. Week 3 is our Heroes Week. We are focusing obviously on local heroes, as you can see. So we will be visited by Southborough Police, by Southborough Fire, and Southborough DPW. More specifically, their trucks, and giving the kids a chance to tour them. You know, like we said, we're right next to the public safety building, and it gives us the unique opportunity to hopefully go up there. I know we're talking to them regularly about hopefully booking something there. So we'll be joined by our fellow colleagues here in town, and the kids always get a kick out of it. Like I said, more than likely they'll be showing up outside of week 3 just to come hang out. I know for a lot of departments, it's a highlight in the summer to come hang out with the community, especially with the kids, and especially the amount of kids that we got here with us this summer. Week 4 is our classic. It's our most popular. It's the one we look forward to the most, I think, out of most of the weeks, and that's our Carnival Week. We will be holding a full-fledged carnival on site with Crystal Entertainment. They will be bringing in all the carnival games and very common carnival items such as cotton candy and things of that nature for the kids to take advantage of, to take part of. Always a highlight, like I said, of our summer. Been talking to Crystal Entertainment this week about it, and they got some really cool stuff planned. They've been planning in anticipation, as this is something that they do very often. So we're very excited for them to come in with that. And then we're going to have a petting zoo, because why not? We'll have a petting zoo on site. Week 5 is our Around the World theme. And this is a really unique week that I'm very excited for. Our supervisors have put together daily activities based on different countries. So our goal is to expose our campers to something that let them learn something new, but through some fun activities, whether that be an arts and crafts project, maybe a sport, things of that nature. So they'll be doing specialized activities each day led by one of our supervisors. But also Skyrise Theater will be coming in that week and putting on a production with the kids. This is both for Camp Fayetteville and Camp Porterville for whomever of the campers is interested. This won't be something mandatory for everybody. They will have the option. But from years past, especially with our younger kids, I know it's something that has gone very, very well. And it's something that we're always excited to have them back in. Skyrise, again, is a great partner of the Recreation Department. They do some great things with RAP programs, after school programs. I know back before everything shut down, they were a frequenter of Trotter in the theater there. So their presence has always been welcomed, and we're excited to get them back for the summer. Week 6 is Barnyard Week. So Animal Adventures will be coming in for the kids to enjoy. And we'll also have literal pony rides out on the fields that all the kids can take advantage of. It's something that we do. You may be familiar if you've frequented summer nights in the past, but we will be bringing them in. So they will have a full setup down at Woodward with pony rides for anybody to take advantage of. So something unique, something fun. It's going to make for some really good pictures, I'm sure. Olympics week 7. Again, Crystal Entertainment is going to be coming back in more than likely with very large inflatables, obstacle courses, bouncy houses, water features, things of that nature. We are planning to make it quite the spectacle for the kids that week. Fast Athletics will be joining us as well. Fast is another very, very good partner of ours that helps us for after school programming. So they will be coming in doing their own special sports and special games, unique games, kind of uncommon games that we don't see often, but that we have witnessed through RAP programs and weekend programs and things that they've been involved with us with. So we're excited to have them in. And then we're going to have a huge special event that week that we'll get into in a little bit. And then week 8 is always that bittersweet week that we all look at each other and we say, where did the last 7 weeks go? But we'll be trying to go out with a bang. There'll be our goodbye summer week. We'll be planning an end of summer all camp barbecue, making it a big spectacle again for all the kids. Crystal Entertainment, they're our best friends over the summer. They'll be coming back, I'm sure, putting out some wonderful opportunities and activities for the kids and staff to take advantage of. And then Skyrise will be coming back once again, and they will be doing a theater performance again for all who are interested. With those performances, obviously at the end there's an actual production they put on, and parents will be invited to that, so that information will obviously go out. So we got a lot planned. It was our intention, just because of field trips being taken off the table. We wanted to be sure we brought in at least one vendor every single week, if not 2, if not more. So that we were keeping things fresh week to week. And again, giving the kids exposure to hopefully new activities, so that they could find something, again, new to take home every single day, or a new skill or something of that nature each week. So we got 3 big things that were confirmed over the last week or so that we will kind of announce here, and it's kind of perfect timing. We only have 5 minutes left, so I feel like I planned this perfectly. So the first thing here is a big old tent. What you're looking at is a 40-foot by 100-foot canopy tent. This tent is going to be in the parking lot of Woodward on the lower lot. This is for anybody who may be enrolled at Trotter or familiar with Trotter. This is the tent that is behind their school right now that they're using as auxiliary space for, I believe, cafeteria, if not classrooms. Once they're done with that, the company agreed to bring that tent over to Woodward for us. So we will have a significant amount of shade space now on site in the parking lot. The Recreation Department, we purchased additional tables, additional chairs to go along with what we already have. So all of our arts and crafts, mostly all of our low energy activities are going to be taking place underneath this canopy tent. So those kids are out of the sun as much as possible, especially on those hot days. So we're super excited for this. It'll help if there's a sudden rainstorm. and we're all outside. It will help to keep the kids outside as much as possible for safety's sake, as we try to keep them outdoors and not indoors as much as possible. But we're super excited for that. And yes, that is the reason why we cannot drive in that lower lot, because there will be a massive tent in the middle of it. So that could get a little dicey when it comes to pick up and drop off. Next thing, Juniper Farms ice cream truck will be visiting us every single week. We will be announcing that, I believe it's Wednesdays, weather pending, but we'll be announcing that officially with the times that they'll be there. It will be a pay as you go. So we will not be pumping the kids full of sugar for free every single week. But Juniper Farms, again, a great partner for us for programs, town events, community events for years and years and years, and also a frequenter of our summer camps in the past. They have agreed to come all 8 weeks. So it gives the kids a little something fun to look forward to each week down at camp. And now the big one, this is the one I'm most excited for, will happen for week 7. Northborough Recreation has taken us up on our offer, our challenge, to do a Northborough Recreation versus Southborough Recreation field day. We will be doing a friendly competition for bragging rights on a set date of week 7 to go along with Olympics week. And we are very excited, very, very excited. They're already kind of talking smack. So we will know, we will have predetermined programs, predetermined activities and events. So I believe they're coming on a Thursday. So we'll be sure that we'll be practicing. We'll get all of our ducks in a row to put on a good fight. So Northborough they're wonderful friends to us. Northborough has taken a similar approach to their summer camp regarding field trips and special events. Allie Lane, the director over there, and I have worked closely for years now, and we kind of came up with this idea, and we thought it would be something very, very unique for the kids to take part of. So we're super excited for that. And obviously more details will come as time progresses. And that's it. I've been talking, I think, for about an hour. It is 8:28, so we're right here on time. Thank you very, very much for taking the time tonight. I know we have a good amount. We had at one point a little over 30 people here tonight, so I really appreciate it. Like I said, this presentation will be made available to everybody. Once again, if there's something you wanted to go back on and kind of refresh, or maybe I mumbled a little bit and you want to hear what I said. But thank you very much for taking the time tonight. We're so excited to get started. I think I speak for everybody at the rec department that we're just thrilled to be back out there with all the kids in the community, especially when it comes to summer camp. Right there on the screen, you'll see the mailing address at it's recreation@southboroughma.com. Right now, that goes directly to me. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out at that email address. And again, our phone number there is right on the screen, 508-229-4452. I have not had a chance to go through the questions, but I will. And like I said in the beginning, I am going to plan on, I think, typing up responses and sending them out to everybody, just because we are at the hour mark and it is getting late. So we will address all the questions, and we will send that out along with the recording of this video. But again, on behalf of the supervisors and myself and Denise and everybody here at Southborough Rec, thanks for coming by tonight. I hope we answered some questions and eased some concerns you may have. I hope you're excited as we are. And we will see you before we know it. So thank you guys very, very much. We appreciate it. And have a good night.